Hello, dear friends. Meditation is about so much more than sitting on the meditation cushion. It's about so much more than finding a peaceful, tranquil place to hang out. It's really about facing life in its wonderful, exquisite, beautiful times and its really challenging times. And this is a letter I received some years ago about a really challenging time. Dear Robert, I have been wanting to introduce myself, but I've been hesitant to call attention to myself and take up time at the end of your talk. I've attended only a few of them, and no one there knows me as yet. I live in an American city and have loosely attended the Shambhala Meditation Center practices here, mainly the Heart of Recovery 12-step meeting for the past 4 years. Today is my 4-year sobriety birthday, and I and my family really appreciated your talk today. I know every single one of us is a living, breathing example of change, anicca. But when my now 17-year-old son, Bill, was severely and critically injured in a car crash a little over a year ago, we were thrust undeniably and inescapably into the truth of anicca. Bill is the youngest of 3 boys, and I have a lot of loves in my life, but he has really been my shining star. He is a beautiful and charming kid who was the lead in all of his high school's musicals from the beginning of his freshman year. So much joy he has brought into our lives. Our life as we knew it was demolished the night of the accident. And over the coming weeks, as he lay in coma on life support, the doctors battling the bleeding and dangerously surging pressures in his brain, taking him through dozens of surgeries to save him from internal bleeding, bowel injuries, fixing all the broken bones, etc. It was hell. It was an absolutely hellish nightmare. But I couldn't imagine having had to go through that if I hadn't gotten sober and found the Dharma a couple of years before. For several weeks, I had times of unbridled, uncontrollable screaming and crying, and yet I still had mindfulness. I had an awareness that this was what my being needed to do, and I allowed it to happen. And I accepted and received the release and slight comfort that would come about as a result. I did go through a couple of months when I seemed completely unable to feel any joy or happiness. Any single human activity seemed unfair to me. Every step. If Bill was unable to move or speak, it felt unfair and unreasonable for me or anyone else to do anything or enjoy anything. I suffered from a mounting feeling that I would never feel okay again, and I did contemplate taking my life a couple of times. But I was still supported and really buoyed up and kept alive by the teachings of the Dharma. I consider Pema Chodron my first, and maybe my very most precious teacher through her books, and my beloved Heart of Recovery group in my home city here. And I had been listening to your podcast for at least a year before the accident, all of which taught me to turn toward this horrible suffering, to enter into it with as much faith, loving kindness, and compassion as I could hold. I just kept practicing. Sitting at Bill's bedside in the ICU, then at a neuro rehab center, in the therapy gyms, on our long wheelchair walks around the grounds as he became more stable. It's really been so much about entering into the moment I'm in, whatever is called for. A lot of personal care for this boy that I have always loved, doing just what needs to be done. And the change keeps happening. Slowly, very slowly. Bill has been able to do more, still cannot talk or move himself about, but very aware and comprehends everything going on, can answer almost any question or tell us what he wants by pointing to words or pictures, can feed himself with his left hand, and he is remarkably content and happy and sweet most of the time. And my happiness has slowly, gradually come back. I can find joy in being with Bill, with my wife, our 2 older boys, our friends, our 2 dogs, walking and communing with nature like I always did. Impermanence can feel horrible. Then, like a saving grace, and then terrifying. I am going to get old and die, and someone else is going to have to do what I do for Bill. And then he's going to get old. The truth is that impermanence is real. So it helps to be reminded and to be able to share that awareness with others. So thank you, and thanks to the Dharma. In peace. Where the rubber meets the road. And so we practice. We take a seat, we breathe, we strengthen mindfulness and concentration. And we learn more and more about love.